Hello friends, host Eric here, who's talking with fans people. I've turned off the heater. I've made some notes. That means I'm serious. Yep. I'll call this the State of the Channel speech. Feedback sought. Subpoint A, increasing demand. The good news is our numbers are going up and we have increasing demand for participation in the conversations that we have as a group. Saturday night we had 8 people in that room at one point, and that's very impressive. I'm incredibly gratified to see that working in that fashion. So next, let's talk about functionally these things becoming like video forums. So that's going to require, if I'm going to enable that to be fully realized, would require additional GoToMeeting rooms, which I can get, and I can get one for talking with fans people. Currently, I'm using the autonomy one. So let's look next at 2, meta-narratives. So what I've sort of determined here is my own meta-narrative of late, and I didn't really have that firmly in place. Right? I mean, it's always going to be shifting, of course, but it's shifted recently, which is to say, I like this notion that this Carolyn woman said about Carolyn Wojciechowski, whatever her last name is, about actualizing externally. And I determined that's in fact exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing to actualize in the external world, and I'm doing so because that's what any Dom does. And that's how I can understand who I am, is to have myself defined by other people through a forum like this, through a medium like this. I think this is why there's going to be a limited amount of participation from other ENTPs in this at first. I think if the meta narrative can be crafted such that the ENTP can define himself against this, or in some sort of juxtaposition with it, if it were to become wholly legitimized as a forum, then the ENTP would like you to participate more frequently. I think it's telling of each type that the INTP is a much more pragmatic type, is more interested in utilizing this for their own fun and growth and whatever other purposes they have. But I'll get more to the meta narrative for the community members or the community as a whole in a second. Second meta narrative is host Zach. So while I'm trying to basically actualize externally, host Zach's given the indication several occasions, that his purpose is figuring the whole truth out, so to speak, to have a clear, single explanation of everything. I don't know what happens at that point, though. I mean, some INTP is going to have to explain to me what happens once you have it all figured out. Do you then execute that protocol for the rest of your life? I'm not sure. C, community. Meta-narrative there is, I'm hopeful this channel will facilitate each of the assorted famous people who come onto the show to attain whatever their own meta-narrative is for this, engaging in this public discourse. I think that there's a lot of reasons why it might be of value to somebody. Socially, it might be of value to them in terms of developing their thinking, might be of value to them in terms of establishing their own identity. It might be of value to them in any number of different ways. So my hope is to structure things such as to facilitate that pragmatic benefit to the participants, whatever it might be. Which leads me into next pragmatics, which is to say, going back to the numbers, yes, we've shown some good growth, and a lot of that, a huge amount of that, has to do with Zach. And Zach's solo videos have been very successful. So I want to encourage him to do as much of that as possible. However, I also want to bring into play here this psychological vector of extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. So one of the things that I have to be careful with in general when I'm talking to Zach about doing TWFP stuff is he naturally is going to have the NTP's resistance to feeling at all caged. Like it's fun making videos when it's fun. It's not fun making videos when you have to. As an ENTP, I understand this dynamic very, very well. And as soon as and if something's fun and I want to do it, but I'm getting like compensated for it, it becomes a chore then. And so, and similarly, if I want to do something but somebody else is pressuring me to do it at the same time, then it becomes a chore. So this vector of extrinsic and intrinsic motivation is a significant one to reconcile in one's own identity. And what I'm doing right now is engaging in a little bit of time magic in order to link this back to the meta-narrative of host Zach having a single model that explains everything and a set of ideas that work. I would argue that something to consider in one's identity build of significance is reconciling this matter of extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. So, I believe my work there is done. um, video purpose, right? What's the purpose of this video? Well, besides that purpose, the purpose of this video is to seek input from the community on maximizing views, watch time, subscribers, and utility to the community members. So if you have any thought on those things, my current model basically being to try to attempt to mix both the current kind of group conversations in with some one-on-one interviews. So I have sometimes some time slots allotted for one-on-one, sometimes slots allotted for group, and to pursue the video forum notion is the current thought. Remember, all my plans are subject to change. If you guys have a better idea, and I will continue to make the solo videos because it's important to me that I do so. But I think I'll probably make them a little bit more carefully. But who knows? It's hard to predict myself. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I am now seeking feedback from you guys on this video, and I am also now thanking you for watching it and wishing you a happy day.